Today it's all about the Texas border, but it's about the things that they're not telling you. Also, I have some concerns. I have concerns on both sides of the aisle. Let's dive a little bit deeper on things that you may not know or you may have not heard yet about the border. And really, is it secure even with what all we're doing? Let's jump into it. Today's video starts right now.
That's why I wrote you a letter, 'cause you see, I write so much better than I speak.
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you're new to the channel, go down here and press subscribe. Ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. That thumbs up means the world to me. And comment below, let us know what you think about the video. Your comments helps us all grow together because I love reading them, but also other people read them, and it helps us build a wiser decision on what they need to be thinking with this crazy world that we do live in. All right, so now let's talk about the border. Now the border, there's a few things that we need to discuss. Some things we all know. We know there's a big truck convoy going down there. We know that they're raising good money. I mean, it's a great thing. We know that there's been several private individuals heading down that way. All that's great. That's one thing. Number two, we know that Texas is standing up, and we know that there's 25 governors sending some troops also to stand with the Texas governor to protect our southern border. That's things we know. We know that there's heat on the Biden administration from all this blowback, even from Democratic cities. Now let's talk about the things that we may not know, or let's dive a little bit deeper in those scenarios and how this may be playing more in the hands of the bad guy than us on the conservative side. Let's hit a few points. First point, instead of Biden getting the heat on this, you're seeing the heat be turned to Mayorkas. Now he is the guy that's supposed to be over the border, the one that says secure. Biden came out this week and said, of course I know the border is not secure. I've been asking for more money. Give me power. Now to be honest with you, he's not said that any point of this last 3 years. He said the border's secure, just like what Mayorkas said. But what I think you're going to see is Biden start turning, and the Democrats start turning on Mayorkas and saying, well, this is not a Democrat thing of wanting open borders. We're wanting to protect people, but we need to get rid of Mayorkas because I think he is lackadaisical on his job. So I think you're seeing even Republicans point towards Mayorkas. There was a 14-hour to 15-hour hearing yesterday on Mayorkas and the immigration and how he should have articles of impeachment brought against him. I'm so sick of this. Again, I go back to these conservative lawmakers who don't do nothing. 14 hours to say that the guy's not protected the border? 14 hours? Do we really need 14 hours? Again, it blows my mind that we waste this much time and money and effort. So it should have been an easy decision. Yes, impeach the guy. But is that going to get you anywhere? We're going to go through trials and court hearings and all these things in front of the Congress, all this bull, and ultimately it's not going to get us anywhere because the Senate's not going to impeach him. If they do, it's going to be to protect Biden. They're going to say, well, this was Mayorkas, not Biden. So Biden really had nothing to do with this, and we're going to give more money to him, and he's going to fix the borders. So they're going to spin that. So I don't think that's going to actually play in the hands of Republicans, because again, the Republicans are playing right in the hands of this whole scenario, and they're going after Mayorkas instead of Biden, instead of them having an open border policy, and he is the leader of it. You know, when you're a captain of a ship and it starts going down, you don't blame the deckhand, you blame the captain. Well, it's the same way. We have a leader who is failing our nation, and instead of him getting blamed, it's going to be one of the fall guys, and therefore the conservatives lose on this battle. Second point, Texas is securing the border. They are still putting up razor wire. They're still doing great things. I love seeing this, and I love seeing Abbott stand up. Love seeing other governors stand up. Here's the problem. Record number of migrants still crossed in December and the 1st of January. Record number. When we think we have a border secure and we're here and we're taking our border back, that's great, and I want to have that. I'm a little bit more pragmatic. I'm a little bit more contrarian to say fixing one place is not going to fix it all. I have cows. You see those cows? There's a gate right there. I can close that gate. I can put extra barbed wire on that gate, but you know what? Right over here, there's another gate, and there's a piece of fence that's down. Now, what do I have to do? I can't just put bore wire right here to fix the cattle problem of cows getting out in my yard from the pasture. I have to go to other parts of the problem. So we're trying to secure one area. We talk about Eagle Pass. We're trying to secure one of the biggest hubs. That's great and all. But remember, that doesn't mean that they don't know where else to cross at. It's kind of like water. I can dam up certain parts of water, but ultimately water is going to find the path of least resistance. Meaning, like, say for instance, my roof. If I have a roof leak and I'm trying to find out where it is, I can tar and put new shingles on this spot. But if I have a weak spot somewhere else, that water is going to find another way in. Well, that's what's going to happen with our border, and that's what's happening. We love seeing that Texas is standing up, and I think that's phenomenal. I don't want to ever take away from that. However, there's a lot more border that needs to be taken care of. These other states, they're saying, yeah, we're here to help. It's time to secure the whole border, not just one part. I want to talk about the truckers convoy and the private citizens going down there. What we want is to support. What we want is to show a peaceful protest. What we want is to show that us as citizens of America, conservatives, believe in a sovereign country. I would say this for the southern border, the northern border, the two waterways on the side, the Atlantic and the Pacific. We want to be safe. We want to be safe in the Gulf of Mexico. We want to be safe because we have a sovereign country, like any other country, especially a major superpower that has to worry about adversaries. Here's the problem though. For everyone going down there, be careful, be wary. You have one of these, so they know you're there. Let's don't have another J6. I see that there's $125,000 to $130,000, I think, raised. And of course, it's probably went up since this video. That's wonderful. I love seeing private citizens taking part. That's what we try to do on this vlog each and every day, is we try to spread truth. But be wary. We've seen how this runs out. When we support something that actually needs supporting, it can easily be spun in the media, it can easily be spun by the opposition party, and it can easily be spun by bad players that are there. I love seeing trucks, I love seeing people, and I love seeing support. But be very, very conscientious, because I imagine there are some bad actors, bad players, hired regulatory bodies that I can't say, three-letter agencies, that could very easily be down there with you. And don't let them charge or cause you to get in a very precarious situation where your freedom is gone. A few more things. We have to realize that this is not our only battle. As we're talking about things like the migrant crisis, and it's a big issue, and it's on the border. In Oregon, they just came out and said there is a emergency declaration of fentanyl crisis, where people are literally, of course, dying in the streets, and they have a drug pandemic, and it's causing death after death after death. Where does this come from? Where does the fentanyl problem come from? The border. Atlanta and a few other airports. There's been places where they have found migrant camps in the airports, protected by our military. Those places that are around our military. I said in a video not too long ago, if you remember, enforcement, law enforcement, military, they're great when they're on our side. However, they have to follow orders. So if they're following orders to protect now the migrants in these places, is that really what we want? Is that really helping the nation? No. So that's what I'm worried about. We see the border, but now we're seeing the issues that's caused by the border. Trafficking issues, drug issues. Now we're housing, not only in schools, not only in hospitals, we're housing these people in airports, and we're giving them free stay. What other American has all this free stuff? It's sad. I want to bring up another point, and I think this is my last point. There was an article on Daily Caller, and it was from Tommy Tuberville. You know, he was one of the ones that pushed back on some of the things with the military not too long ago, so he got a bad name in the Senate. But there was one thing I think he kind of brought up in this story. The reason that these Democratic cities and the reason that these liberals want the immigration issue, and I said this, was for voting, to grow a different, almost a replacement, and to always have power. And I've thought of it as, well, they have to have voting rights. And this article made a great point. It said, it's not about the voting rights. It's about the population and what it does to the congressional maps. Could this be a way that the Democrats always have control, because then they can redo the maps, and now these cities have grown so exponential, they may not have a voting block, but they have a population. And that population may end up skewing the voter lines. And that may end up skewing how Congress always is leaning left and not Republican or conservative. That's a great point. Now, that's far-fetched a little bit. I can see where people say, oh, well, they still can't vote, so they can't be counted. Look again at the Senate plan where they were wanting amnesty. They were wanting different policies and reform. All that means for voting, for housing, and those population booms means for new congressional maps that need to be redrawn. We need more representation. Those representations won't go the conservatives' way. So I hope this video opened your eyes about a few things. Not only the things that you've heard, but there's some things that we're missing out on when it comes to our border. And these are just a few, and I hope through this we can gain some wisdom to see, you know what? It all looks good. It all looks good for us conservatives to say, hey, take our borders back. Eagle Pass is getting taken care of. Razor wire is going across. However, we still have record numbers crossing because they're finding other means. We still have trafficking issues and cities that are now claiming pandemic levels of drug overdoses. We also have U.S. Army helping protect migrants in the airports instead of taking care of our border. Some big things to talk about. So let me know what you think. When we comment together, I love reading your comments because then it makes me say, you know, I ain't thought about that. Hey, that's a great point. I love hearing quotes. So let me know, comment below your thoughts on this video and what your ideas are and what are the pros and cons of what's going on. Thank you so much for watching. We just ended January, already starting February in the new year. This election cycle in 2024 is right here and right now. So these issues are going to be more and more prevalent in the news. Now, let's hear from you. What is your thoughts on it? Let me know below. Thank you for watching. God bless. Happy homestead, y'all.